Welcome back to the Universe Podcast and Happy New Year, everyone. I'm your host, Shanley, and today we're going to be talking about why your annual vision board isn't doing shit for you. We're going to discuss how to effectively plan out your year by tying in your financial values to an effective and actionable goal plan. If you're looking for a way to kick off the new year with intention, this episode is going to be for you. Now, I got this idea from a book that I had actually read in 2023, Smart Couples Finish Rich by David Bach. If you're watching this, I'll show it in the video so you know what to look for, but I'll also link it in the bio as well. But in this specific episode, much of what I implement in my planning for the annual board is based off of the structure described on pages 40 through 97. So if you're interested in applying this yourself, by all means, buy the book and hone in on those specific pages. Okay, so before I hand you all of the solutions to your problems, I want to explain why a vision board doesn't actually set you up for success. More often than not, our dreams live within our minds, hence why we call them dreams. When we create a vision board, we apply those mental visuals to paper so other people can see what they look like too. It's just this array of images you see yourself achieving in the end. It's the outcome. But the problem with that is that it encourages the fantasy as opposed to applying actionable steps that bring them into fruition. In essence, a vision board keeps it exactly that, a vision. It skips over what the day-to-days look like that get you to that end goal. And therefore, that end goal tends to constantly feel out of reach because there's no actual momentum that's encouraging you closer to them. Okay. So you might be thinking, but Shanley, I'm a visual person. I really need that. Okay, no problem. Make one, but you have to put it alongside a intentional plan. And what we're going to refer to that plan is a purpose-focused financial plan. This is what David Bach preaches to his clients, and I will have you know firsthand, it works. I'll share my method for integrating this approach into my vision board per se process and why it works and how it can truly enhance your financial wellness while strengthening your relationship with yourself, but your partner too. So grab your favorite beverage, get yourself a snack, settle in, and let's map out our purpose-focused financial plan so that we can have the best year yet. So let's begin by unpacking the core of this approach, the purpose-focused financial plan. At its heart, this strategy encourages you to align your financial goals with your most deeply held values. According to David Bach, identifying your top 5 values is the key to unlocking clarity in your financial, but your personal life too. Here's how I approach this. I sit down, I write out on a massive whiteboard the 5 values that matter most to me. Things like health, independence, freedom, growth, and security. These are guiding principles for who I want to be as a person. Emphasis on be there. Who do you want to be? But also, what do I want to do in life? That's what we were thinking about when we're making these boards. So those top 5's to-dos will then be my goals over the next 12 months. So then I sit back and I ask myself, what do these values look like in action? What do they look like to you as you're thinking about this? For example, if one of my values is health, I might define actionable steps like prioritizing meal prepping, scheduling regular workouts, and sticking to that schedule. It could even be, saving up for a retreat that is focused on wellness so that I can attend that and be around other people that are prioritizing that too or value that as well. The key is to make these steps specific, measurable, and actionable, which brings us to creating your annual purpose-focused financial plan board, or purpose-focused goal board is what I'm going to call it. Now, once I've defined my top 5 values, I translate them into goals. Now, I want to pause a minute because it's important for us to understand the difference between the two. A value is something that you hold as inherently important. It's about who you want to be. For example, Values might include family, security, freedom, or personal growth. These are broad principles that guide your decisions and your priorities in your life. Now, a goal, on the other hand, is specific and action-oriented. It's about what you want to do or achieve. Goals are measurable and they have a clear endpoint. For instance, if one of your values is family, a corresponding goal might be save $5,000 for a family vacation by December 31st. So, tying the two together, more examples that I think are directly from the book. If you're valuing security, a goal of yours might be pay off $10,000 on your credit card debt within 12 months. Or if your value is freedom, your goal might be build an emergency fund with 3 months worth of living expenses. And then lastly, if you're valuing contribution, that goal might look like donating 5% of my income to a charity that I care about. I've given you a lot of examples and I think you're starting to get it, but it's important to know the difference between the two because for so long I didn't. And if I didn't, I know others didn't either. So when you understand this distinction, you can ensure that your goals are deeply aligned with your values. Now, this alignment is what makes your goals feel meaningful and achievable. It's not just about checking off boxes, it's about creating a life that reflects what matters most to you. Now that we've clarified the difference between values and goals, let's talk about turning those goals into actionable steps. Here's my process. Sit down, write down all 5 values, but when you do this, fill them into David's value circle graph. It's in his book, and I believe you can download it free online if you subscribe to his email thread. This is essential because it's in a circular method so that no value holds or has more rank over the other. They're all created equal and they're all prioritized throughout the year. Then follow those 5 values with 5 goals attached to each of them and get specific. For example, instead of saying, I want to save money, I'll write down, I want to save $10,000 for a down payment on a house by October 1st. It's very specific and it's measurable, okay? Then you're going to write down actions that you can take within the next 48 hours to move towards that goal. These could be as simple as setting up a savings account, creating a budget, or researching down payment assistance programs. Whatever can get you started is what you want to put in that 48-hour action plan. And that action plan will be changing throughout the year. The closer you get to achieving that goal, the more you have to revise it. So just know this isn't a one and done thing. You are actively coming back to this board, you are updating it, and you're revising the plan to ensure that you are getting steps closer to where you want to be. Okay, little tangent there. But once you have your 48-hour plan down, identify who is in your network that can help you. This might be a financial advisor, it might be an accountability partner, or just a trusted friend. Whatever you have to do, bring in reinforcements, people that can hold you to your word, that can help you make that goal come to life. I don't care what you got to do, just get some help. Make sure that you're not doing it alone because you will cheat yourself. We are really, really, really good at that. And then lastly, set a start and a deadline. Give yourself a timeline that creates that urgency, but it keeps you focused and refreshed. So if the timeline's too long, you're most likely going to forget about it. You're going to put it off. So give yourself some heat on that timeline. So I've been talking about a lot here. So let's focus on what is obvious. 2024 just came to a close. And as I took time to really reflect on the purpose-focused goal board that I set for myself last year, I'm walking into this new year feeling very proud of myself. And it's the first time I've truly felt that way coming into a new year because I achieved so much on that board. Everything I achieved was well mapped out in accordance to the steps that I have highlighted to you today. The ones I didn't achieve could have used improvement with the timelines and the action steps that I actually set for myself. And I do believe that that's the ultimate reason why they didn't find success by the end of the year. So to give you an insight, last year, 2024, my values were health, independence, freedom, balance and growth. Now with health, I didn't succeed in that. I guess I have a little all or nothing mentality. It was either work or health. I wasn't able to prioritize both. However, I didn't implement the value circle. I had it numbered. And so I think subconsciously that helped me push that aside as less important for the sake of focusing on the financial goals I had, which is a big no-no. Without your health, you're nothing. So I didn't succeed in that one. But for independence, part of what being independent looks like is the financial freedom. And to get me there, it was starting by launching this podcast, which I did do. I'm still getting into a groove with that. Freedom, it was also kind of financially related. To have freedom is freedom of time. And to have freedom of time is to have my money working for me so that I'm never locked into a job. So to get there, I wanted to invest in crypto. I did that. I've been actively doing that monthly. I wanted to follow a budgeting plan for overall financial health, which I did do. I got with a financial advisor through my work, and they helped me get that plan in place, but also a debt repair plan. And I've been following that too. And then lastly, for that one, I wanted to pay off my car, and I was able to do that before my 30th birthday, and I'm pretty proud of that. Balance right there, very closely aligned with health. So this is where I think that there was room for adjustment with my values because they were too closely tied, which I did substitute balance for a different value this year. And we'll get to that in a minute. But balance last year was work-life balance, more time with my brother and his kids, my sister-in-law, my partner, Chris, intentional date time, all of that was not really prioritized. I hate to admit. And I would say same for my partner too. So area of opportunity there. And then of course, growth. I had set a goal to get promoted by the end of the year, and I did in fact get promoted. So I'm very proud of that. I start mid-January actually. So all that's to say, I'm walking into 2025 with new values. I'm valuing health, which is going to be different this year. It's going to be improved. Independence is still there. Freedom is still there. Growth is still there. But instead of balance, I'm walking in with security. And you might say, oh, independence, freedom, security, they all sound similar. But they're different, and you will see why, because I'm going to show you my vision board today. I'll put it on the screen here. So I want to tell you why those are important to me. Health. I value health because it's the only thing we can manage and influence for ourselves. It is the one thing that sets the tone for how you feel, how you show up, how you treat others, and what ultimately grants us the gift of another day and at an optimal level. Should we do all that we can do to promote health for ourselves, we're going to be as optimal as we can be for the time that we're given. And to have that sustainable health means that I look and feel good. I do more for longer durations of time, both in the moment, but in the future years too. And I engage with the youth in my family at full capacity. And more than anything, I set an example, right? When kids are involved, which I don't have any at this point in my life, but I do have nieces and nephews, and I take that role very seriously. They're watching and absorbing everything I do. So if I can set a good example to value myself, to love myself above anything else in this world so that I can be the best to others, I'm going to do that. And the only way you can truly share a life with others is if you are in full alignment with your mental and your physical health. I truly believe that. So independence, I value independence because it is important to me to have ample choices should one path come to an end. What do I mean by that? Should I get fired unexpectedly? It's important to me to have something else in motion that can keep me comfortable, even with the loss of income. And not only that, but to be able to support myself with or without a significant other or a family member. When any kind of unexpected event happens, I want to be able to have the money to do it and handle it. You find yourself in a toxic relationship, no problem. Cut that shit loose and start fresh. Without financial independence, especially for us ladies here, other people have too much power over your happiness, and the thought of that alone will always be too expensive to me. Now, freedom. I value freedom, specifically the freedom to choose my time. Time is precious and it's never promised. And for me, the freedom to choose my time, when, where, how, is truly the definition of wealth. If my money is working for me as opposed to working for it, then I never have to sacrifice a single moment in my time. A family member struggling with their mental health and needs me to be there, no worries. I'll be there, I will help you, and I will be fine when I return back to my life and my home without the burden of financial stress added for myself. Want to take the weekend to get away and be with your partner? Okay, do it. Have fun. The freedom to choose my time is the token of financial security and growth. Now, I value growth because we can never know everything about everything, doing and being the same thing every day. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the more you can adapt to change, and the more diverse you are, and the more your perspective expands, and the more humble and resilient you become, and the more you can contribute to an overall better society. Without growth, you can simply sign on your compliance to never amount to your highest potential. You shrink yourself on all levels, walking a life totally blind to everything outside of your immediate field of view. And to consistently grow is to reap every benefit life has to offer. And I'll never give up that pursuit. Lastly, I value security because it means financial longevity. It means peace of mind and stability in a place that I like to call home, but also a plan in place for when I reach a point in my life where I can't care for myself anymore. That not only sets me up for success, but it sets up my loved ones that I'm leaving my assets to when I leave this world. Each goal with an action plan attached to it fuels these values in some way, shape, or form. By following this method, you're not just dreaming, you're actively working towards making those dreams a reality with daily efforts. One of the most rewarding aspects of tying an annual board to financial values is how it can improve your communication and relationships as well. You guys know I'm passionate about this. When you and your partner sit down to discuss your values and your goals, you're not just talking about money. You're talking about the life that you want to build together. And this process fosters that transparency and alignment. It helps you understand each other's priorities and find that common ground. Plus, when your goals are value-driven, financial discussions become less about numbers and more about shared dreams. So, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Tying your annual board to your financial values isn't about achieving goals. It's about creating a life that reflects what matters most to you and building a foundation for lasting financial wellness. I'd love to hear about your planning for a purpose-focused goal board this year. What values are guiding your goals? And let's just keep that conversation going, you guys. I highly encourage the comments. And if I don't get back immediately, I promise I will be working on that this year. So with that, thank you for tuning in to the Universe Podcast. Until next time, stay intentional, stay inspired, and remember to show up for yourself with courage and authenticity.